In this video, we count down killers who got what they deserved in court. I think we can all agree that these convicts should get a maximum punishment. But what happens in some of these clips, the convicts got more than just a sentence from the judge. Starting off, on May 14, 2022, a mass shooting was reported in Buffalo, New York, United States. 10 people, all of whom were African Americans, were reportedly killed in the attack, which was partly live-streamed by the shooter, 18-year-old Peyton Gendron. Among the victims of the racist-based shooting was Catherine Massey, a 72-year-old lady who was unfortunately present at the scene of the event at the time. Peyton Gendron, the perpetrator of the unfortunate event, was soon arraigned in court for his trial.
Dramatic just moments ago in a Buffalo, New York courtroom where the man who shot and killed 10 people
Barbara Massey, the younger sister of Catherine, who was tasked with giving a victim impact statement, wasted no time in informing the court, especially the gunman, about what a void her sister's death had created.
You sick, you got my family crying. I miss my sister every day. I live 3 doors down again. I talked to Kat 4 times.
And how much pain and misery she was being put in, having to face the reality of her sister's exit. Barbara Massey was still speaking in so much pain when a male figure whose relationship with her could not be ascertained as of the time of the event made an intentional charge at the accused in an open attempt to cause physical harm. He was immediately restrained by the court security present at that time, with the accused being hurriedly led out of the courtroom by other security operatives on board. Peyton Gendron was immediately sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
An A1 felony, that you be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole.
We head now to Ocala, Florida, where Brandon Banks, Travis Davis, Kelvin Grimmage, and Killa Richardson, who were all involved in the gruesome murder of Courtney London, were to be arraigned for trial. During the course of the court proceedings, a court officer approached one of the accused named Kelvin Grimmage in a bid to place him under some form of restraint. This was met by heavy resistance from Grimmage. This reaction from Grimmage seemed to spark some uproar in the court, and a battle between defendants and attorneys erupted. But they were met by an organized army of officers who wasted no time in attacking the situation and placing them under restraint. After some intense resistance met with the use of tasers and other restraining methods, the melee was soon over, and they were being placed under watch. They were later found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Dr. Larry Nassar. For young gymnasts with Olympic dreams, Dr. Larry Nassar was like a god. But now several allegations were put forth against the U.S. Olympic women's veteran coach, and he was accused of multiple counts of forcibly violating his athletes.
Absolute best. And I was very lucky. I was very honored. Remember, he asked me not to wear underwear and to wear loose shorts. And I thought that was...
Giving their account, some of the athletes lamented how Dr. Nassar lured and had his way forcefully under the guise of medical treatment.
Obedience. And I just did what I was told.
So you showed up in your shorts and no underwear.
While it made some feel uncomfortable, others might have felt their demigod of a coach was always right. Dr. Larry Nassar was convicted and sent to court for trial, where he would face what turned out to be a court session of nightmares for him. During the court procession, and in one of the victim impact statements, the father of one of the victims of Nassar's lust made a sketchy request to the sitting judge, who immediately declined. But the father, who would not be denied, lunged a dangerous attack in what proved to be a highlight of this video of Dr. Nassar.
That's not how our legal system works.
This prompted a swift response from the court security operatives, who did everything they could to restrain the angry father, who at this point was still putting up some resistance. Dr. Larry Nassar was later sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison. He is currently serving his time in the Coleman II U.S. Penitentiary near Orlando, Florida. This case, however, was no match for the eventful Michael Madison case. Michael Madison from East Cleveland was a renowned killer who was accused of strangling 3 women, including Shatisha Sheely in October 2012, Angela Deskins in May, and Sherelda Terry, who was 18 in July 2013. The Terry murder finally led to his arrest on July 19, 2013. The police interrogated Michael Madison for a whooping 12 hours in a bid not only to get him to admit to the killings, but also disclose the location of the bodies. Michael Madison is now taken to court to face the consequences of his actions, in which he surprisingly pleaded not guilty. But that was nothing
Michael Madison has pleaded not guilty again in a Cuyahoga County courtroom
compared to the surprise coming his way. While giving his victim impact statement, Mr. Terry, the father of Sherelda Terry, made a suspicious look at the accused killer, and in what turned out to be one of the most dramatic parts of this video, made a jump at him as if to rip him apart. This, however, was met by a strong resistance from security and some members of the court present at the time. Both the culprit and the father of the deceased were taken out of the court simultaneously. Michael Madison was now found guilty on counts of felony, kidnapping, and murder, and was handed the maximum sentence of death.
Of which the defendant was convicted, outweigh the mitigating factors by proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Take nothing from this next case, as we would be looking at a man convicted for killing his own relative in a most despicable manner. On September 18, 2023, police were called to an apartment in the 4,500 block of Broadleaf Drive after a third-party caller reported hearing someone screaming for help. But at that time of arrival, the victim had already sustained multiple injuries, and before he could receive any medical help, he was dead. But the victim was not alone. On entry into the apartment, the police found 30-year-old Jalen Forrest with the victim. He was immediately arrested, and the cause of death of the victim was officially ruled as strangulation. On September 28, Jalen was already taken to court for his preliminary trial. Before the trial began, the judge called for a peaceful court procession.
So everybody is welcome to sit here and to listen. I'm not going to allow any outbursts or discussions or conversing.
As she knew what was about to unfold. The court session was off to a bumpy start as minutes into, the judge could already be seen asking a lady, believed to be the daughter of the victim, to calm down. But this lady wasn't having any of it. Even as the judge made calls for peace and calm, this lady's voice grew even louder, as though she wanted an immediate punishment for the culprit. But this was nothing compared to what was about to happen. Due to the rowdy nature of the courtroom, the judge asked that it be cleared, but the family of the victim saw this as a chance and without wasting time, attempted to pounce on the culprit. This was so intense that the detective Burns, acting as a witness, had to interfere. Jalen Forrest was taken out of the courtroom immediately. The judge, so angry, threatened to hold those involved in contempt against the court before clearing the court totally.
I know this is hard. Step outside or I'm going to hold you all in contempt.
Leaving just the attorneys behind. The case was further adjourned. If you like more videos like this one, please do well to like, comment, and do not forget to subscribe.